Hello friends, today I am going to deal with the topic application letter, specifically a job application letter. So I would say this topic, in a sense, even though it is prescribed for F.Y.B.A or F.Y. functional English students, but it is a universal topic. Any students after graduation, whenever he's been asked to write an application, it is a great question mark in front of him how he should write an application. So when it comes to write it on the paper, he comes across many difficulties. So if you keep a common format in your mind how to write or what is the structure of an application letter, so every one of us know what is an application. Application, it might be in response to any advertisement, or it might be in response to some, you can say, with some references, or to your knowledge you have came to know that there is some vacancy at certain places. For that word I have used that type of application. It can be divided as solicited application or unsolicited application. Solicited application means what? It is in response to an advertisement. So advertisement, it might be in any paper or any employment news, or it might be on television. So wherever you can say, that means so there is certain source that you have came to know about that advertisement and you feel fit for that post and you wish to apply for that post. Or secondly, you may say it is unsolicited application. What it is? It is from any reliable source. So your friend or any person is working in a company, and from him he came to know that there is an urgent vacancy from that person. So you might have applied from that source also. So there might be, that means it is solicited or unsolicited, you can say. So when we say, so first of all, what is the important thing? Everyone. So naturally, when we set a target or goal in our life, we should know what is my target or what is my goal in my life, or specifically what is my professional goal. So professional goal, it is a career goal. It is a career goal, and in this career goal, we should know that how to write an application. Application itself is your first interview. It is your first interview, so you should know. So you should know that whenever you are writing an application, it is a mirror of your achievements, what you have achieved. So it should be reflected, proper things, they should be reflected in your application. Oh yes, it is an attachment or a covering letter to what? It is an attachment or a covering letter to your resume. So all those things, they are covered in your resume, but the first impression is your application. How you write your application, it plays a very significant role. So one should be cautious. So as we know, it is a type of communication. So when we say communication, verbal and non-verbal. So in case of verbal, we say communication, it might be either written or oral. So this is written communication, and under written communication, application letter is your professional career goal, which is the first step reflected through your letter, I would say. So many companies, what do they prefer? They prefer handwritten application. When there is a note, write your application in your own handwriting. So what does it mean? It tests your skills, writing skills. It tests your attitude. It tests your language. It tests your personality. So what kind of personality you are having, it is reflected. So when we say, so if any person is talking, we say he is very rude. So his voice is very rude. So his way of presentation is very rude. He is not at all, he is adamant person. So what, in a similar manner, written skills also present yourselves. So whenever you are writing, so what general features we should remember while writing an application letter? So it should be in a friendly tone. The very first point which I have mentioned here, your tone, it should be friendly, but it should be formal. Friendly in what sense? Your tone, it should be friendly, that the person, he should feel The employer, he should feel that he is a needy person. He is a needy person, and in a sense, when we say he is a needy person, so that means he will be helpful to that company. It will be helpful to that company. So it should be reflected in that manner. So that should be friendly tone, but it should be formal. It should be formal there. So when we say formal and informal, we know the difference between what is formal communication and what is informal communication. Here we cannot say, hi sir. So here, respected sir, the salutation which we use, it should be in a proper manner. But your tone, it should be friendly tone. So it should be a friendly tone. So that thing you should try to adjust between. So the length of your application, it should not be more than one single page. Your application, it should be covered within a page. It should be covered within a page, and maximum length of your application, it should not be, that means the content, it should not extend more than 3 paragraphs, you can say. So those, you can say in 3 paragraphs, you should be able to adjust, and it should not, the length, it should not be more than 1 page. Don't use same application at different places. So whenever you are writing, so don't make one common format of your application. Don't just only change the post. So somewhere you might be applying for a sales manager, for another you might be applying for marketing manager, or you might be applying for a manager, or if you are in educational field you might be applying for a lecturer or a teacher. So it might differ, but what is important at that level, so don't use the same application everywhere. So when you copyright, then the spelling mistakes, it could be committed again, or some words, the skills of those first job, it might be reflected in your second application. It might also happen. So don't use the same application at all places. So your application, it should be fresh. You should try to understand the advertisement. So for what is it? It is a response to the advertisement. In advertisement, everything has been mentioned. So I'll tell you one simple example of Sudha Murthy. So Sudha Murthy, when you can say, when that means she saw an ad in a newspaper when she was BE engineer, and in that what was written, female candidates need not apply. So all the qualifications were there, but the note it was there, female candidates need not apply. So she was not eligible to write an application for that particular job, even though she was having all those complete qualification. So reading an advertisement is very important. Understanding the skills. What skills are expected by the company or by that institution? Do you fulfill all those criteria? Do you fulfill all those educational qualifications? So we should try to match yourself with that advertisement. Then you can find suitable that yes, I am the proper person, now I can apply for this post. So study that means advertisement first. What are their demands? Try to know and try to present them in a strongly manner, in a positive manner in your application, and even the attachment, they should be reflected in your resume. So resume is a different part. I will not deal with that. But how to write an application, that is the basic thing which we should try to understand here. So don't use the same application at different places. The next, avoid grammatical and vocabulary errors. So you can say application, whenever that means sentence construction. So you should know proper, that we may say syntax and semantics, or the linguistic barriers you should try to avoid. Not only you can say grammatical and vocabulary, I would say those linguistic barriers of communication you should try to avoid. So you should, that means whenever you are writing, all those you can say your way of presentation, your language, your vocabulary, everything, it should be in a proper manner, and that pragmatic sense should also be there whenever you are writing a letter, you can say. So message should be persuasive. You should change after reading that application, the person, he should feel yes, he is the proper person. Whatever the expectations are in the mind of the employer, it should be reflected through your application. So you should, that means your application, it should be persuasive. So he should feel, yes, he is a proper person which I should select, and it should be reflected in your interview. The next process, you will be given, that means you will be sent an interview call, and you will appear for the interview. That is the next process. The first process, it is advertisement, and after advertisement you write an application letter. An application letter itself is an interview. So that means your application itself, it should be persuasive. Omit personal information. Whenever you are writing, don't be very descriptive. Be brief, minimum words, maximum thought. Whatever you can say, that means whenever you are being asked in an interview, you will be given chance and you may present there. So whenever they are sorting your application, it should be persuasive, and at the same time, it should not be much more personal. So it should be objective. Whenever you are writing, it should be like a mirror. Whatever you have, it should be reflected in your application. You can say highlight qualification. What you should highlight basically in your application letter? Your qualification. Qualifications, they are of two kinds, we may say. Educational qualification is different and your professional qualification is different. So when I say BA, MA, what is this? 10th, 12th, BA, MA. This is your educational qualification. Then next, afterwards, you may take your professional qualification. What might be your professional qualification? You might be B.Ed, or you might be D.Ed, you might be SET, you might be NET, you might be PhD, you might be MPhil. So these are what? These are the professional qualification which you achieve. So whenever you are mentioning, that means what you should mention? You should mention your highest degree. So if I say, if a person is MA, naturally, when he is MA, naturally it is obvious, yes, he is BA. So there is no need to say that I am BA, MA. There is no need to mention both BA and MA. So just say I am MA in such and such, I am MA in English, I am MA in economics. So mention your highest qualification there. So likewise, it is clearly reflected, yes, it is obvious that you have achieved that earlier qualification. Yes, in your documents they might be reflected in your resume, but whenever you are writing an application, mention your highest qualification. It reflects your attitude, your presentation. So mention your qualification, whatever the skills, they are correlated to your job. So whatever you might be perfect in certain, you can say in manufacturing or in marketing or in sales, wherever you are perfect, whatever skills you have, you should be able to mention your skills, and finally your experience. All these three things, they count. This is paper, your qualification is your paper, minimum qualification. Skills, what skills do you have, or how that company will be benefited. So don't think that I am a needy person. Both are needy, I would say. If a company gets a good employee, they are benefited. If you have all the skills, naturally you will be rewarded by that company. So both are equally needy. Both employer and employee, both are equally needy. And so you should not devaluate yourselves. So you should know your own value, who you are. So that it should be reflected there. So highlight your qualification, skills and experience. So that is in a sense, in short, here I have just told you the brief points which whenever you are writing an application letter, which basic features you should remember while writing an application letter. So then next I will turn to the structure of an application letter. So what should be the structure of an application letter? So what information you should give? First of all, I would say the first information, it should be mentioned about your contact information. So nowadays the style, it has changed. You can say towards your left side, we write the contact details. So you can say just like John Abraham, address, you can say whatever Riddhi Siddhi Nagar, Ville Parle, 400112. Then next your pin code you have written, your phone number, your email address and date. So date should be spelt. I would say date should be spelt. Just for example, 22nd November 2020. So in that manner, the date, it should be spelt. You can say name, address, pin code, phone, email, date. They should be mentioned in a letter. If you are writing an email address, there naturally the email address it comes. So you are sending your application by email, there is transmitters, so that means sender's email ID and receiver's email ID. So that is enough there. So that means it is, I would say, online application, I would say. So contact information, when you are writing on a paper or sending by the post, so there your name, address, PIN, phone, email ID and date it should come. Secondly, I would say the receivers to whom you are addressing to. So here you are the transmitter. Contact information means what? You are the transmitter. You are the sender. That means the sender's information, it has been mentioned there. So whenever you are writing your name, so just means first your first name and then next your surname. Don't write according to your roll call list. So as we say, just you can say, likewise many students, what do? They write their you can say surname first and then their name. That is wrong method. So whenever you are writing, so you can take many examples. Ratan Tata, Sudha Murthy. So how the first name and the surname. So that don't, you can say the system, it should be in a proper manner. So if you remember these small points, so these make a good impression. So you know the technical skills. What kind of writing it is? It is technical writing. So whenever you are writing in a structured form, what it becomes? It becomes a technical writing. So those technical skills, it should be acquired in that manner. So if these things, I am speaking about the structure. I am speaking about the structure. Later on I will deal with one simple example, I would say. So receiver's contact information. In receiver's contact information, you may say, so whenever you are addressing a college, I would say, so you need not need to write the name of the principal. So we directly say to the principal, Rao Bahadur Narendra Boroke College, Shrirampur District, Ahmednagar, pin code 413709. So everything it has been mentioned. What is that? Means here the name is what? Here in a sense it is a designation. So here it is a designation, it is a chair. So here you can say, here you should mention your name, but here the name is in what manner? Generally we should give the title, you can say, or the designation of that specific person, you can say. Or if you are applying in a company, to the manager, to the chairman. So just see, that means everything is been mentioned in the advertisement. So read the advertisement properly. If your address it is wrong, the letter it would not be posted or it would not reach to the proper department. So many students, their application, even though they are qualified, but due to this technical knowledge, they are a failure. They don't send the application through proper channel. So that means their writing or the address it is wrong. And so we should take utmost care. What is the address to whom we have to send? Whether to the chairman, whether to the principal, whether to the director. So whosoever it is, so the address it should be clear, or the title, whether that means the company, its address and pin code. So everything it should be mentioned in a proper significant manner, I would say. Then next, subject. What is subject? It should be mentioned. After that, after these two address, sender's address and receiver's address. So what comes next? It is the subject. Subject is what? Subject, it should not be written in a complete sentence. What is it? It is a phrase. What it is? It is a phrase. Application for the post of sales manager in your company. Your application for the post of sales manager. So you can say, what is it? It is a subject. So reference you may give earlier or you may mention in the letter. So that means in the body of the letter you can say. So here in a sense the subject, application for the post of sales manager. So what I have written, so just whenever that means here I have written as application for the post of sales manager. So what is it? This is subject. So when you're writing application for the post, what is the head word? Application. So what is it? It is a noun phrase. What is it? It is a noun phrase. This is the head word. This is not an entire sentence, or this is not an entire clause, we should remember. What is this? This is a noun phrase. And what we are speaking about, application. For what? For, this is prepositional phrase again. For the post. Which post? Of sales manager. So here we could see, what is it? It is not a sentence, it is just a phrase. Application for the post of sales manager. So everything is clear. Whatever the post it is, application for the post of a teacher, application for the post of a manager, whatever it might be. So we should be perfect. Application for the post of assistant teacher, application for the post of office superintendent, whatever the post it might be. So just mention that post. So it makes clear. So whenever you can say a letter, it reaches to that company. Even on the covering envelope, we should write application for the post of teacher. So it is clear, much more clear. So that it directly goes to that department. So make it so much clear that it should not be, that means that person, he should not be bothered after receiving your letter. So everything, it should be much more clear. So subject, it should be mentioned in this manner. It should be in a phrase manner. Further, salutation. So salutation, you may say respected sir / ma'am. So sir is a common term. So respected sir, so salutation. Don't say hi or dear sir. Don't say dear sir also. Because you may say dear sir when you become an employee in that company. After some period, naturally, you are familiar with each other, you know each other. Then you may say dear sir. That is different. But whenever you are writing in an application letter, generally just say respected sir. So it becomes much more polite. It becomes polite. So what type of salutation you use? So respected sir. So respected sir. So just mention in that manner. So just see what I have mentioned. First, your contact information. Secondly, I have told you the receiver's contact information. So it might be company or any educational institute or any firm or any sanstha, or you can say or any trust, whatever it might be. So wherever you are applying, know the address of that company, you can send. Then next, the body. Body is what the internal content, what you are going to write. It is called as body of the letter. So body of the letter, I would say you should divide into three para, as I have already mentioned. So make it be clear. So likewise, make three paras. So 3 para, and in that you may mention in that manner. So first of all, wherever you are applying, you should know whether it is an educational institute, whether it is a company, and you should know the brief history of that company, who is the manager. So that means it is that. Why? Because it is important whenever you apply next for interviews. So that means, but here at least you can say in your body of the letter what should come. So for which post you are applying for, and the reference, it should come in the first para. So it should come in the first para. Secondly, your qualification and job relevance with, you can suggesting your skills and your co-curricular activities. And finally, you may say you are thanking employer for considering your application. So you should thank for the employee that you are for the employer for considering his application, you can say. So in this manner you may write the body, you can say format. Finally, complimentary clause. Yours faithfully or yours sincerely. Whenever you are writing, so whenever you write, so yours faithfully or you may say yours sincerely. So just see what thing you should remember. Yours faithfully or sincerely. So this F, it should be small always. What I see generally in many application letters, you write in a capital form. Don't write this letter F in a capital form or S in a capital form. So yours, don't give apostrophe S also. Yours Y is capital. Yours faithfully, F is small, or yours sincerely. That is your complimentary clause. So it should be written in that manner. And after that, towards this you can say, towards the right side, you may write your name. So before, on the top of your name, you should sign. So Anil Sharma, on the top of your name, you should undersign. Signature is must, you can say. Signature with initial. So initial, you can say SS Sharma, or you can say Anil Sharma, you can say. And finally, the enclosure. Enclosure in a sense, what documents you are going to attach. So what document you are going to attach to your application letter. So that it should be mentioned. What is enclosed? So sometimes you say copy forwarded to. So copy forwarded to. You can say in Marathi we say Prat Mahiti Sati. So but in a sense copy forwarded to, if it is necessary, you may forward, you can say. But generally in a sense in application letter that is not expected. But we may say enclosure, resume, and copies of certificates. In that resume you may say, either you may say resume or you may say copies of certificates. So whatever, and the testimonials or documents you can say. So in this manner you may say. So this is the structure. So this is the structure of a letter. So now you can say, now you know what should be written in your contact information. Now I will not deal with that point, contact information. Every one of you know how you should write your contact information. If I speak about myself, I would say Mr. Sunil Deokar, Head Department of English, Rao Bahadur Narendra Rao Boronki College, Srirampur, Maharashtra. Then next pin code 413709. My phone number 9423826741. Email ID I would say devkarsunil27@yahoo.in. And date 22nd November 2020 or November 22nd, 2020. So that contact information it would likely come. And if I am applying to any other institution, it might be, you can say a college in Mumbai or in any university, I would say you can say there to the registrar University of Pune, Ganeshkin, Pune 411007 pin code. So I have already mentioned. And likewise subject, respected sir, subject, you can say application for the post of professor in your university. So in your university, salutation, respected sir. Then next, body of the letter. So how you write the body of the letter? So 3 paragraphs you have to make. So 3 paragraphs which you have to make. Now that I will deal with. How you should write, or what things they should be included while writing this letter. So what things you should try to include whenever you are writing this letter. So this is in reference to your advertisement. This is in reference to your advertisement in Times of India. This is in reference to your advertisement Times of India dated 16th November 2020 for the post of sales manager in your company or in your institution. So likewise what I have said, so this is in response to the post of for the post of sales manager in your for the post of sales manager in Times of India dated 22nd November 2020 for the post of sales manager in your company. So that it comes for post and reference. Post is whatever the post you are applying for, and reference is reference from where you have got the source. So Times of India, you have seen the application 16th November 2020. So from that reference you have applied for that post, you can say. So you have applied for that post. Secondly, about your qualification, I am M.Com in marketing. I am M.Com in marketing from Modern College, Mumbai. I have 5 years of assistant manager's experience in Tata Consultancy Services. In Tata Consultancy Services, since 2016. So what you have mentioned here, your qualification, your job relevance, and at the same time, you may also say, I can handle. So here you can also mention, that means I can handle individually marketing department of that or you may say I have handled individually marketing department of 5 states. 5 states. You can. So what does it mean? It reflects your attitude, your depth of your work. So that means what you have mentioned first of all here, your post and your reference, my educational qualification. That means I am M.Com in marketing with MBA, or whatever you can say. You have mentioned, you can say I have also completed MSc IT or any other course you may mention, and your skills, whatever skills you have acquired, and your experience also. Everything it has been mentioned where? In the second paragraph. So that should be mentioned in the second paragraph. And in the third paragraph, you should mention, if you, that means here you may say, I hope you will give me an opportunity to work in your institution. I hope you will give me opportunity to work in your institution. I look forward in, I look forward to work with you, thanking you, yours faithfully. So likewise, it is thanking employer for considering your application. So thanking the employee for considering your application. So in these 3 levels, you may say, you may divide your application. So first, as I already told you, post and reference. Secondly, I have told you in the second paragraph what should come, your qualification, job relevance and co-curricular skills. And next, lastly, you thank the employer for what? That means they should consider your application, you can say. And finally, the complimentary clause. Complimentary clause, thank you, yours faithfully. So what? Yours faithfully or yours sincerely, it should come there. And your that means that towards the right side, your signature. After you, when you say yours faithfully, so yours faithfully, then next you should sign, and then below it your initial you should write. And finally, again to the left side, enclosure, your resume or copies of certificates or testimonials. So that is structure which you should remember. So just if you remember this basic format and the features which I have told you, so if you remember in this manner, nothing is difficult. So whenever you write what kind of language, it should be there, and so you should try to minimize the barriers. Use simple language. Don't be that means don't feel by writing a very obscure application you would be selected. So whenever you are presenting yourself, so your points, it should be highlighted in a very simple and natural manner. That is difficult. To speak in a simple manner or write in a simple manner, that is a difficult task, and that we should try to develop that kind of skill, and then you can become a successful, that you would be successful in every fields of life. So that was the point which I wanted to discuss today. Thank you.